City of champions, too many hate but can't claim it. Dallas Cowboys, the Maverick Stars, and the Rangers. Come on down to D-Time, you know what make you famous. To walk around rowdy and proud, how could you blame us? So take a time out with Jeff now for your breaking news. Like, subscribe, and comment like you know what to do. New free agents, newest trades, all the sports exclusives. Even if you need a smile, Jeff gon' act a fool. Just sit tight and listen close for your favorite team. Never know what deal just might pop across your screen. Or new injuries or who just might be out for weeks. Sports predictions, stats on your fantasy. So get your ticket out and double check all your numbers. It's a chance you could've hit the spread over and under. I'm finna be ballin' for the summer with no drama. Jeff, tell them where you coming from.
Welcome to the Timeout with Jeff Sports Podcast with your man, the one and only, the host, Jeffrey L. Mango Jr. Hey, sports fan, guess what? Something big happened this weekend. That's right. The Oak Cliff Super Bowl. The Oak Cliff Super Bowl happened this weekend at John Kincaid Stadium on Polk Street against two of the top teams in Oak Cliff. That's right. I'm still calling the two of the top teams, even though Kimball may be in a rebuild year, and Carter has not been that same Carter Cowboy team that many fans, players, and alumni are used to. But hey, when it comes down to the Oak Cliff Super Bowl, it doesn't even matter because the fans, the alumni are going to come out in waves and waves of fans to see this Oak Cliff Super Bowl that happens year in and year out. But hey, it didn't happen last year because of COVID. COVID derailed the Oak Cliff Super Bowl. But these young men, these student athletes got the opportunity to live their dream. Growing up playing Little League football for the Oak Cliff Redskins, the Redbird Raiders, the Oak Cliff Jets, all of the teams that you played for, the Salvation Army Comets, wanted to go and play for either Carter or Kimball and get a chance to play in the Oak Cliff Super Bowl. Hey, but I'm coming to you with the Oak Cliff Super Bowl recap of how it went down, giving you some highlights of the game, of how the game went down. Hey, before the game started, fans were lining up early. You had Kimball fans, Kimball alumni, tailgating on their side. You had Carter fans showing up early to get in the game. And then lightning strike. And they had to delay the game. It was supposed to be a 5 p.m. kickoff, but the game was delayed because we had a lightning delay with some storms coming in. But hey, once it got going, it did not disappoint, in my opinion, but I'll talk about that a little later. Let's get started on this Oak Cliff Super Bowl. On the opening possession, the Night Train defense forces a Carter 3-and-out early in the game. But then, after the Night Train takes over, Carter stops their drive with an interception to get the ball back for their offense. On Carter's second possession of the game, they march downfield for 60 yards and cap it off with a touchdown pass for early 7-0 lead. You already know what's going to happen. They take that lead. The crowd is going wild. The band playing starts playing. Deep in the heart of Texas, I believe they played. But hey, Carter then kicks the ball out to Kimball to get a Kimball Knights the ball back. Carter then forces a fumble, but they turn the ball over after taking the possession back with an interception of their own. Kimball then drives down as far as they can go and stalls in the red zone. And on top of that, they miss a 30-yard field goal. A 30-yard field goal. Come on, man. You should be able to kick a 30-yard field goal in high school. But hey, that's never here nor there. After a little back and forth of offenses just going back and forth, stalling, Kimball then gets the ball and strikes back in the second quarter with a bubble screen to tie the game 7-7, to make it a competitive game early on in the game, first half of the game. Carter then gets the ball back on the next possession, but turns the ball over late in the first half on a fumble at the Kimball 17-yard line. Carter was deep in Kimball territory, about to get ready to punch it in to possibly take a 14-7 lead, but they turned the ball over. After Kimball gets the ball back and drives down the length of the field, they take and settle for a 10-7 halftime lead. Now you know what time it is. It's showtime, right? It's time for the battle of the bands. It's time for the battle of the Oak Cliff bands. Justin F. Kimball Knights and David W. Carter Cowboys. Of course, Kimball is the visitor team, and their band takes the field first. They played very well. I'm not going to take anything from them. But I'm sure fans were wondering why Carter didn't take the field. And probably are still wondering to this day, why did Carter not take the field? Well, I'll tell you why. Word is Carter band had members out sick or whatever the case may be, so they did not take the field. But they did play in the stands. After playing in the stands, Kimball's drum line went down to the track to battle. Carter band then comes out on the field and says, Kimball, where you going? They were ready to battle. But unfortunately, both bands were sent back their respective ways and did not get to battle. I know fans, former band members, and just alumni of the schools were disappointed that the drum line did not get to battle. Hey, that is just custom for band drum lines to battle. I know it can get a little testy going back and forth, but that's where you keep the band members separated and you have somebody in between just in case it gets out of hand. But after halftime was over, both teams come out on the field. Kimball gets the ball to start the second half, but the Carter Cowboys on the open possession force a punt, as well as block Kimball's punt and returned it for a touchdown to take a lead after going for two to take a 15-10 lead early in the third quarter. That's early in the third quarter. Still a tight game. In the Oak Cliff Superbowl. So you see the momentum is shifting Carter's way early in the game. On the next series, Carter defense then picks out Kimball for about a 30-yard pick six to extend the lead 21-10, but the 2-point try was unsuccessful by Carter. What are we thinking? Our fans? We're thinking, hey, Carter takes a 21-10 lead. Carter about to run out with this game and send them packing early. But hey, Kimball had other thoughts. The Kimball Knights had other thoughts. Kimball returns the ensuing kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown to cut the Cowboy lead 21-17. We got a game now, folks. We got a game. It was looking ugly early in the second half for Kimball, but Kimball came back. Got some good blocks downfield. You know, most of the time you're looking for a flag. You're going to see a flag come for illegal block in the back or clipping. But no flags. No flags on the ground. Hey, touchdown good. Kimball cuts the lead, 21-17. But on the next possession, after Kimball kicks the ball out to Carter, they force a fumble, which, anyway, was turnover on downs. So they also force a fumble and cause turnover on downs. Now, there's a little back and forth, going back and forth. But now we at the end of 3 quarters with Carter leading 21-17. They got the ball back. They're facing a 4th and 16 from the Kimball 33-yard line. You thinking, okay, they should kick a long field goal. But no, guess they didn't believe in their kicker. So what does Carter do? Carter goes for it. And Kimball forces turnover on downs and actually had Carter lose 2 yards to take over on their own 35-yard line. So Kimball takes over on their own 35-yard line after forcing a turnover on downs on Carter. Late in the game, Kimball then regains the lead 23-21. Extra point was no good with 10:18 remaining in the game. We got a good game, folks. We got a good game. Here we got a back and forth game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's teeter-totter, 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 like a seesaw, like a seesaw. For most fans, it's living up to what they might have thought should be a good game. Of course, if you're a fan, if you're alumni of Carter, if you're alumni of Kimball, you want your school to blow the other school out. You want bragging rights. You want to go into the barbershop. You want to go to work. You want to go on social media bragging. We blew y'all out. We blew y'all out. And guess what's going to happen? It's going to be back and forth. Well, we didn't lose our year when we played to y'all. Or when I was at Kimball, we beat y'all. Or when I was at Carter, we beat. You already know how the story goes. But on Carter's next possession, they're facing a critical 4th and 2 on the Kimball 10-yard line. Most people think 4th and 2, you got a good running back, number 24 for Carter. Hey, every time the boy ran the ball, he's going forward. He's going forward. Doesn't matter what. He get 1 yard. He's going forward for 3 or 4 more yards. Give him the ball. Guess what happens? Kimball gives Carter the automatic first down with an outsides penalty. That's automatic 5 yards. Carter only needed 2 yards to get the first down. Kimball gives it to him by an outsides penalty. You know Kimball coaches are fierce. I'm looking at the sideline and looking at some of them taking their headsets off in anger and disgust. What's going on? What are you thinking? Because, hey, guess what? You don't give them the outsides, the 5-yard outsides penalty. You could have got a defensive stand. Who knows? Who knows? But Carter then stalls on Kimball 1 yard. Kimball 1 yard line. Many people in the stands on the sidelines wonder, what was Carter thinking? You need 1 yard, hand the ball off to your running back. Instead, they fake it and do a rollout. What were they thinking? I tell the guy next to me, I say, the coach was probably thinking, Kimball is expecting us to go at the middle, so I'm going to give him something else to think about. No, you tell your offensive lineman to buckle down and get a push, and you give it to your running back. If he can't get 1 yard, then there's something wrong. If your offensive line can't push the D-line back to get 1 yard, there's something wrong. But hey, on the next Kimball possession, Carter defense forces a fumble recovery for a touchdown to reclaim the lead, 28-23. Late in the 4th quarter, with 5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining on the clock. Guess what? There's still plenty of time. No panic. Kimball still has a chance to come back and take the lead, win the game if possible. It's 5 minutes left on the clock. I believe at the time they had 2-3 timeouts, so it's still early in the game. Still early enough in the 4th quarter. They have time to make some things happen. But Carter then gets a late stop to take over on downs. You thinking, Carter get a stop. They go run the ball. They go get a few first downs, run the clock out. No. Kimball then takes over at their 45 and completes after they took over and taking over from Carter. They complete a long pass to the Carter 24-yard line with 1 minute and 57 seconds left. Now you got every fan in the stands on pins and needles. Because here it is. Kimball is down 5 points with 1 minute and 57 seconds left. And they're driving. They just completed a long pass down the 24-yard line. They got 24 yards with a minute, almost 2 minutes to go in the game. Hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But that defensive Carter, they stood it up. They held Kimball on back-to-back possessions, on back-to-back plays, and they forced a 4th and 19 from the Carter 28-yard line. Then, after a timeout, they come back on the field. Carter gets a stop to seal the win and claim the James Jones Trophy with a 28-23 victory in the Oak Cliff Superbowl. They get the ball, they take the victory kneel, and they claim the Oak Cliff Superbowl. And I believe the last time the game was played, Carter won the Oak Cliff Superbowl. So they just continued the trend of keeping the trophy. It still stays at 1819 West Wheeling Road. But hey, that was the recap of the Oak Cliff Superbowl. That was the recap. Now, there were a lot of penalties in that game. 2 minutes for both teams. A lot of turnovers. There was a lot of fumbles, few interceptions. It was a good game for the most part, in my opinion. But fans, I have to ask you, those who attended the game, those who read about the game on social media, or those who was called after the game and told about the game. Now you're hearing my take on the game. But if you was at the game, did the game live up to the hype? Did the Oak Cliff Super Bowl live up to the hype? In my opinion, I'm going to give my opinion. In my opinion, it was some excitement. It was a good atmosphere. But from what I've seen from a little kid at the age of 7, on up playing for the Oak Cliff Redskins, going to the games back when I was a young boy, watching the Andre Pattersons, the Calvin Goldsmiths, the Andre Richardsons of the world, the Jesse Armsteads, and just the list goes on. And even my years of being at David W. Carter and watching some of the greats play in the Oak Cliff Super Bowl, it wasn't as big as it could have been. But it was great for it to be back happening. You had an alumni on Kimball's side who's coaching, and Brandon Bam Harrison, who's a 1990 alumni at Kimball. And so that's what's going to bring some of the excitement back, because you have an alumni coaching for Kimball. And he actually has a couple of Carter alumni on his staff. So that's going to bring that Oak Cliff Super Bowl feel back, I think, in years to come. But did it live up to the hype of what it could have been? No. Can it get back to that point? Yes. And my other question is, fans, what would you rank this Oak Cliff Super Bowl? If you had to do a ranking, what would you rank it on your list? And would it crack the top 10 of Oak Cliff Super Bowls of all time? In my opinion, there's too many great Oak Cliff Super Bowl games that have been played that for it to crack the top 10. Was it a good one? Yes, because of the defensive touchdowns that happened, the special teams touchdowns, the big play on special teams for Kimball on kick return, a few hard hits here and there, the noise talking back and forth because it's a rival, even though Kimball is 5A, Carter is 4A, but you have two teams who have a history of being in the same district, crosstown rivals, and it was just a good feel to be back in that stadium. Even though the stadium that it started out was Sprague Stadium, now it's at Kincaid. So hey, it was good. It was good to see It was fun seeing the alumni, fun just being in that atmosphere. But hey, you tell me what you think. Give your comments in the comment section below. Hey, you've been listening to the Time Out with Jeff Sports Podcast with your man, the one and only Jeff Mango Jr. signing out from the DFW. Peace.